Whoa, what's going on, guys? So, per the title, why are vegetables bad for you? And on top of that, I'm going to tell you why fiber is absolutely unnecessary in the human body. So, let's first break down why fiber is unnecessary. Because a lot of people think when you look at the food pyramid, things like that, all carbs aren't created equal, right? You have sugars, you have standard starchy carbs, you have soluble fiber, you have insoluble fiber, you have low glycemic carbs, high glycemic carbs, net carbs. All net carbs is, just so you know, it's the amount of carbohydrates that are left in a product after you subtract fiber from the rest of the carbs. As if that means anything. It doesn't. So let's talk first why you don't need fiber. Because everybody's confused and everybody thinks that the human body needs fiber to survive. It doesn't. Fiber is pretty bad for you. You're running something through your body that it can't break down, nor is it even possible for us to break it down. And it scratches everything up along the way. In your esophagus, in your intestines, in your colon, in your everything. Now, people think, but John, if I don't eat fiber, I'm going to be constipated, right? It's a safe space. We can talk about going to the bathroom here, right? If I don't eat fiber, I'm going to be constipated. That's not true. That's not true at all. What happens is, the rest of your diet, ironically, is the problem, and fiber is kind of putting a Band-Aid on it. So your body can't process fiber, right? So it comes out of you the same way it came into you. Now, that being said, the average American diet is so bad, and I'm going to repeat that. The average American diet is so bad that our bodies can't actually break down the food all by itself because it doesn't know what to do with all these chemicals and nonsense that we give it. So what do we need? We need fiber. Fiber pushes that stuff through us because the body knows what to do with fiber. It just knows to get rid of it. So it detects fiber and it just pushes it all through. It's kind of like a plunger, really, just pushing everything through you that needs to go through. But that being said, the body's not made to utilize fiber. We can't even digest it. That's why it goes out of us the same way it came in. Our stomach acid isn't strong enough to break it down, and our intestines aren't strong enough to pull any nutrients from it. Because you can't pull in nutrients if it wasn't broken down, right? So why we don't need fiber is because it's not fiber's fault. Fiber is just fiber, but it's the average American's diet's fault that we can't break down food. They did a study a long time ago with, if you buy like boxed pasta, right? Instead of making your own fresh pasta. Or like boxed macaroni and cheese, something with like some pretty questionable ingredients in there. And they had somebody swallow a pill camera. 2 hours after they ate that pasta, it was still just sitting there in their intestines like full pasta noodles. Just not sitting right, not being utilized properly. Whereas when they looked at the person who ate, homemade fresh pasta, where it's really just wheat, flour, and eggs. Flour, eggs, and like a little bit of water, right? That's pasta. That's all the ingredients of pasta right there. A little bit of salt. When the camera got to the person's intestines, it was completely broken down. But the box stuff with the preservatives and all the chemicals holding things together, there were still full pasta noodles, or chunks of them obviously because she chewed them up, just sitting in her intestines. That's where fiber comes in. Fiber pushes things through. Now, that being said, I'm on the assumption, if you're watching this video, you care about what you eat, right? You're probably not somebody who's 600 pounds, doesn't care, and is just watching to learn more so they can get mad about it. Maybe you are. If so, I hope you take some great information from this. And if you're somebody who's let's say 600 pounds for argument's sake, on a fat loss journey to get better and learn everything you can and utilize it, I hope this video makes you realize how bad some of the foods you may think are healthy right now actually aren't that healthy. And I advise you to just, first of all, keep on the journey, and I'm freaking proud of you, man, or woman, whatever. Actively making a change in your life, God bless, because that's a beautiful thing, and you're taking your life back in your own hands. I love it. But don't fall victim to marketing, because everything is marketed as heart healthy and the best thing in the world for you in a superfood when it's 99.9% garbage. One of the biggest tricks I can give you guys right there, is while I'm on that topic, is if there's more than one ingredient, don't eat it. And if it's just made up of one ingredient, you can probably eat as much of it as you want and you're going to be fine. You know, nobody's ever gotten fat on rice. You get fat on fried rice with the soy sauce and the seed oils and this, that, and the next thing. The rice itself didn't make you fat. You can't eat too many bananas to get fat. It's impossible to put fat on with protein. You know, nobody got fat eating too many avocados, too many apples. Those are all one ingredient things. But it's all the nonsense in between the lines that we kind of forget about. That's what packs those pounds on. And not in a good way, you know? So food for thought there. Some food that's digestible. They don't need fiber to get through you. So long story short, I'm rambling a little bit. Why don't you need fiber? It's because if your diet was all one ingredient based foods, at least for the most part, you know what I mean? Where the majority of what you ate was clean, quality, nutrient rich food, your body knows what to do with that stuff. It can digest it and break it down fine. You're talking about combating millions of years of evolution where our body had to put fiber in us in case, I'm sorry, not had to put fiber in us, but had to give us a reason to get rid of it. It wants to get rid of fiber because we can't use it. But it just so happens that because we just get rid of it, it worked pretty well when it comes to just pushing out junk food. You know, humans have evolved for a long, long time. And every animal in the world works better with healthy, clean food than they ever will with junk food and garbage. If you've ever had a dog and you swapped them from kibble to eating raw, you know, you saw it firsthand right there. They go to the bathroom better, their hair is better, their skin is better, their nails are better, their teeth are perfect. Everything is impeccable. So fiber is very, very unnecessary, especially if you're an athlete. Because why would you want to slow down your metabolism? It slows your metabolism down too, and it slows it down a lot. But I'm going to make a little tag here, let people know that the fiber talk is done, vegetable talk is in, because you clicked on the video for vegetables, most likely, right? So why are vegetables bad for you? Humans, from an evolutionary standpoint, are omnivoric, meaning they eat meat, they eat fruit, they can eat plants, but it's really meat and fruit. That's what an omnivore is, you know? An herbivore doesn't really eat meat, and they eat grass. They eat plants. When you look at the digestive tracts of, let's say, a cow is a great example. They have a 4-chambered stomach and a ludicrously long, large intestine for their body, because it needs to be able to break down all of that fibrous grass that the average person, vegetable-wise, couldn't do anything with. They have stomach acidity strong enough to break that stuff down and get the nutrients out of it. You know, a cow is just a machine that turns grass into steak. That's what humans need. Humans need the steak. We don't need the grass. You put the grass in the machine, you get the steak. You know, you don't drink gasoline, right? Put gas in your car and you go somewhere. You don't walk everywhere. That'd be crazy. So, when it comes to vegetables in the human body, right? Or before that, let's discuss how things stay alive evolutionarily. Everything on this planet, everything, wants to be eaten or doesn't want to be eaten. right? And has things in place to make that happen. If you look at a lion, right? A lion doesn't want to be eaten. It wants to eat. What does it do? It's aggressive, it has teeth, it has claws, it'll fight back. What about a gazelle? A gazelle has speed. Speed to escape. All animals have camouflage, at least for the most part, to try to hide from predators because they don't want to be eaten. Let's look at fruit. Fruit is pretty much the only example of things that want to be eaten on this planet. So you would say, why would fruit want to be eaten, right? If everything wants to stay alive, why would fruit want to be eaten? Because the fruit plant, the tree itself that bears the fruit, that's what wants to stay alive. And in order to do so, it's in its best interest to allow the fruit to be eaten so that when the animal, and fruit seeds are very, very hard to break into. They're very fibrous. They're very dense. You know, nothing is eating an avocado seed and digesting that. You know what I mean? Or banana seeds, things like that. So when you look at, well, why would it want to be eaten? How about for the fact of, from an evolutionary standpoint, the tree, in a way, realized, hey, the seeds that make it through the digestive tract of some of these animals have a much better likelihood of sprouting and getting bigger because they come into the environment with feces, with fertilizer, with high amounts of nitrogen, right, from the fertilizer. So it allows those plants to grow significantly faster. And then natural selection jumps in, where the ones that grow faster have the same attributes as what did prior to, and then they end up being what's left, because the other ones died out, at least for the most part, right? But fruit is very vibrant and colorful in a place where things aren't. It's because they want to be eaten. They want to be seen. The tree looks the same as every other tree because the tree wants to be left alone. But the fruit is very rich and colorful because it wants to stand out in its environment. It wants everything to see, hey, monkeys, hey, gorillas, hey, everything. You know, there's a bunch of bananas here, or there's an orange, there's an apple, there's something. Eat me so that we can go to the bathroom and my kids have fertilizer. My kids have nutrients. You know, it's a purely symbiotic relationship. The animal gets food and the tree gets reproduction, technically. Right? So now we look at plants. Plants all have camouflage. They're all the same, like vegetables. Vegetables all have camouflage. They're the same color of everything in their area, except for things like peppers. What do peppers have? Skull. Peppers have skulls, so they're spicy, so animals leave them alone. We're just kooky, and we eat it. And we can handle spice, but it's not good for our digestive system by any means. But we get away with it. We're okay with it. But peppers are the weird outside source, where, sure, they blatantly have the skull, right? The Scoville, that tells you how hot something is to keep you away, but we're stupid and we eat it anyway. And we like to challenge ourselves because we're not thinking straight. But we're also eating plastic all day, so what do we know, right? Let's take broccoli, for instance. Broccoli's a good one. If you've ever seen one bushel of broccoli, right? It's like this. It's a good-sized thing that you can buy at the grocery store. Now, things don't grow in the wild. One bushel of broccoli every 30 feet, right? It's hundreds of them in one big broccoli bush. Let's say one big broccoli bush. Now what'll happen is a bear will stumble across that one day, right? A young bear that doesn't know any better. If you've ever seen animals in the wild, they don't eat some, a little bit, right? And then save the rest for later. They eat every single thing they see until they can't eat anymore. So what'll the bear do? The bear will eat as much of that broccoli as he can possibly eat. And because of that insoluble fiber, especially on that level, he is going to be very sick. He's not going to feel good. The insoluble fiber and the lectins in plants. Lectins are plant defense chemicals that harm digestion so that you don't eat it. It's the same thing as a pepper Scoville, right? The exact same thing. But it's in every single vegetable on this planet. From superfoods to spinach, everything, to lettuce. Where lettuce is just water fiber, but it's not. It's got plant defense lectins in there to keep you from eating it too. It doesn't want to be eaten, man. So when the bear eats too much of it, he gets sick. And next time he sees the broccoli, he goes, stay away from that. Last time that didn't feel too good. That's the way the broccoli stays alive. So we're saying, yeah, I know, but we're not eating 60 bushels of broccoli. We're having a little serving of it, right? We're having a little serving, getting our vitamins, our minerals, and a little bit of fiber. Even by now, you realize fiber you don't need. We're getting our vitamins, we're getting our minerals from it, right? Well, before we touch on the vitamins and minerals in the fibrous plants, let's talk about the microdosing, because that's what we're doing. Is we're getting away with not eating and getting something from, we're getting away with microdosing plant defense chemicals, lectins, that are poisonous. They're not good for us. An insoluble fiber that's not good for us. But we're eating it in such small doses that we get away with it. And that's the key word right there, man, getting away with it. It's not good for us. We just got off easy because we didn't abuse it. It's like if you drink a bottle of bleach, you're gonna die. That's not gonna go well. But if you took a little dropper and you dropped a little bleach on your tongue, and I mean a drop, every day, is it good for you? Of course not. Of course it's not. Are you going to be alive and fine? Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Nothing's going to happen. At least I don't think. But you'll be fine. You're not going to get sick. Your body's not going to reject that little tiny bit of bleach. It'll burn. Don't do that. But my point is, just because you're microdosing poison doesn't mean it's good for you. Now let's talk about vitamins and minerals, right? Because people think, oh, but we need vitamins and minerals from plants and vegetables because we need them, or we just need them. Well, first and foremost, if you're eating like an athlete and you're eating plenty of red meat, at least red meat 3 or 4 times a week, and as an athlete you kind of should be, you're getting more than enough vitamins and minerals in that. The ability to digest and absorb nutrients is key. That's always number one. So let's look at the lie that is vitamins and minerals in vegetables. The vitamins and minerals in vegetables are found within the insoluble fiber, the calorically dense parts of a vegetable, right? But they're insoluble. We can't get in there to break it down. We can't absorb those nutrients. So it may be made up of those things, right? But it would be like taking a lead pill capsule with vitamin C in it, right? You're going to go to the bathroom, that lead capsule is going to come out full of vitamin C because we couldn't absorb the vitamin C out of a solid lead capsule. The same thing with the A vitamins, the B vitamins, and so on and so forth that are in this insoluble fiber. We can't get to it. The absorbability for a human is not there. So that being said, are you getting your vitamin and minerals from it? No, you're not. Can you get vitamins and minerals from fruit? Yeah, you can, because it's in the sugars. It's in the flesh of the fruit. It's not just the insoluble fiber. But when plants are primarily made up, 99.9% of them, it's water and insoluble fiber. You can't get it from the insoluble fiber, and it's not in the water. The water's just water. Whereas plants, fruit, actually has meat to it. The meat of the fruit, the flesh, is where you get those vitamins and minerals. And are there some in the insoluble fiber of a fruit? Sure there is. But you're not getting it anyway. Just like you're not getting it in the vegetables. Plain and simple, man. What about red meat? What about meat and chicken and fish and salmon and tuna, all these things that are vitamin and mineral rich. What do we get our vitamins and minerals from there? Well, we absorb them perfectly. Makes sense to me. Our digestion is made for them. Why don't we get our nutrients from what our body is made to use them for? Even if your digestion is a little off and you're taking pill capsules with like vitamin, let's just say a tablet, right? And you're under the weather, you're taking vitamin C tablets like crazy. And you go to the bathroom and you're seeing like little tablets in the toilet. Because your digestion's so messed up that even this thing without that lead capsule around it, you weren't absorbing all those 500 milligrams of vitamin C. Most of it just left your body anyway. So the minerals are out of the question because we know we don't absorb them anymore when it comes to vegetables, right? The fiber is out of the question because we know we don't need it. We need to fix the rest of our diet. Fiber is just a band-aid for a bad habit. So what else is left with vegetables? We're poisoning ourselves slowly with plant defense chemicals called lectins. I'm waiting for another reason to eat, or even one good reason to have vegetables. You know, if you look at vegans, you know, they live on vegetables and stuff, and over 90% of vegans go back to eating some type of meat in their life, regardless of moral reasons. That's a whole separate issue. But their health declines rapidly. Rapidly. And while we're on the topic of vegans, let's talk about proteins in plants, right? Proteins in vegetables, proteins in plants, because they think they can get enough protein in like beans and lentils, which are beans, soy, tofu, things like that. The human body cannot use those things as a complete protein. It's like taking a pill capsule without anything inside. We digested the capsule, that's fine. But there wasn't enough of the stuff inside for us to do anything with it. Humans and every animal on this planet needs a complete amino acid profile to work with. Otherwise, we can't actually use it. So what does that mean? The three major amino acids are valine, leucine, and isoleucine. Okay? Now, isoleucine, I believe it's isoleucine, but I could be wrong. One of those three major amino acids are only found in animal-based products, whether it's milk, eggs, meat, whatever it happens to be, but isn't found anywhere aside those three places, right? Aside actual animal products. So what ends up happening is vegans are incredibly meat deficient, amino acid deficient, and sometimes they take amino acid supplements to try to supplement it. But amino acids are such a finite molecule that our stomach acid kind of burns up the vast majority of it before we can even do anything with it. But then people always come back with the argument, oh, but what about gorillas? They always say gorillas. Gorillas, like, oh, you think you're stronger than a gorilla then because you eat all this protein and they don't? Like, man, that's not what I'm saying. But it's a good point. So how come a gorilla, which eats very little meat, and they'll eat meat if they can get their hands on it, but just like a deer have been known to eat meat if they can get their hands on it, but because they know it's the most nutrient-rich thing in the world. Every animal in the world does. But why are gorillas the way they are when they eat all that vegetation? First of all, they eat hundreds of pounds of vegetation a day. It's a lot of incomplete amino acid profiles, which is true. And do gorillas need a complete amino acid profile to synthesize protein and get something out of it? Of course they do. But then where are they getting those other nutrients from? Gorillas in particular, and a lot of herbivores. Vegans don't understand this because they're just thinking about their own tofu beans and stuff. A lot of herbivores out there, and we're not herbivores. We're far from it. We're very far from it. Have a specific gut microbiome, like a gut flora, that can convert on a molecular level unutilized amino acids into missing ones. Hence that isoleucine to ensure that the body does whatever it needs to do to heal itself. So even though they're consuming incomplete amino acid profiles, they have to consume it in such volume that the body actually converts whatever's left over into whatever they need. Does that make sense? And that's most herbivores too, because every animal needs those complete amino acid profiles, and a lot of animals don't have access to it without, self. Same reason why plants can grow, right? Everything needs nutrients. Well, how do plants grow? Photosynthesis. They get it from the sun. Why can't I do that? Because you just can't, man. That's why. You're not a gorilla that can change amino acid profiles with your gut microbiome, because you can't. Just like you can't convert energy into nutrients from the sun through photosynthesis. You just can't. We as human beings simply cannot do that. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It means that's just what we are. So that being said, why would you eat vegetables? I couldn't tell you. What I can tell you is I have been off vegetables for, 4 years now. And my digestion has never been better. Never been better. If I eat too much shitty food sometimes, I can tell I probably could use some fiber to help get that through me. But on the flip side of it, if I eat fiber now, like if I get a burrito and there's beans in it, I do not feel good. It kills my stomach. Kills it. And it's not even a ton of fiber. It's like a serving of fiber. My body does not work well with it because I do everything else right. Because I do everything the human body is supposed to do. Where it doesn't need that fiber to push things along. It's doing its job. It's eating its food. It's metabolizing things correctly all day, every day. Man? I'm very passionate about this. Because, first of all, vegans bother me. Take your self-righteousness and stick it up your butt. And bring a cucumber along with it. But what I will say is, if you're going to shove anything down someone's throat, have some facts behind it. If you're a vegan because you're really extreme about caring about the animals, that's the only reason I can understand. If you're really extreme, do I agree with it? No. But your beliefs are your beliefs, and God bless, enjoy them. I'm not going to say your beliefs are wrong, because I don't know. You can believe that. But when the facts are wrong, facts are wrong. When they think they're getting enough amino acids, when they think they're not going to get sick, when they think they're getting enough nutrients, you're not, man. It's a very unhealthy way to live. Even if vegans, I know a lot of vegans that have turned back to eating meat. And they always feel better, they look better, they're stronger, they're healthier, they're happier. Everything. Why? Because, dude, you were malnourished for years. What do you expect? You were malnourished and unhealthy on the brink of death. Come on, man. You can always add fiber if you want to add fiber. If you feel your digestion's a smidge off, you can always add it. But saying to yourself, I'm never going to eat meat again, I'm never going to eat this again. If you're never going to eat vegetables again, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, because the facts say so. People say they're never going to eat meat again, or any dairy products whatsoever, and they say they're going to be fine. Oops. Man, you're not going to be fine. You're going to get real sick real fast. Beliefs are beliefs, but facts are freaking facts, man. And facts don't care about your emotions, which is something nowadays a lot of people don't seem to grasp their reality on. But you and I know that. Lord knows those people didn't make it this far into the video, so whatever. They'd be very upset right now if they could sit and learn something new for a half hour without feeling victimized, right? Poor souls. A few guys that make it to the end of this video, I appreciate your support. Thanks for checking it out. Let me know what you want to do with your diet. If you have any questions of what you're eating, if the body can break it down properly without vegetables, leave me a comment. Let me know. Or if you're on my social media, Instagram, DM me. Let me know. Say, John, this is what I eat. Do you think I can get away with no veggies? 100%. And do I eat no veggies at all anymore in my meal preps and my planning? Sure. If I'm at a nice dinner and they come out with a little Caesar salad, I love a nice little Caesar salad. But what's funny is, you know, the more you learn about nutrition, the more you understand that vegetables are junk food. I'll say that one more time. The more you learn about nutrition, the more you understand that vegetables are junk food. So, on that note, my friends, hope you have a great day. Hope you learned something. Any questions, you let me know. If you could like, comment, subscribe, it helps us out tremendously. And I hope you have a great day. Go in your vegetable drawer, throw them all out, get yourself a nice steak, and I'll see you tomorrow. Let's get it, baby.